Shalom, Israel, giving honor and praise to the Most High God for the reading and the understanding of His Word. And I know I say this every week. I say it every week. I say it every Sabbath. But happy Sabbath, Israel. Seriously. Happy Sabbath. Our day. I really want y'all to do something today. I want y'all to step out of your element, step outside of your box, what your step outside your comfort zone. And I really want y'all to give the Most High His praise. I mean, serious. If you have to go off into a corner or, go in your war room or whatever it is that you may have, if you got to do it in privacy, seriously, give the Most High His praise and tell Him how much you love Him and appreciate Him for all the things that He does for Israel, not just now, but also in the future as well, because we know what our promises are. Seriously, and give Him thanks for that. For real, I really want y'all to do that today. So now, I'm not sure if you can tell, but today I'm really giddy because we are going to be talking about one of the greatest stories in the Bible, which is the Passover. This is one of my most favorite stories in this book. And by the time this lesson is over, you are going to know why it's one of my favorites. You'll see. And I'm going to predict this right now. For those of you who are not very familiar with the Passover and everything, it's going to become one of your favorites too. All right, I'm making that prediction now. So, of course, what I want you guys to do, open your Bibles to the 1611 King James Version Bible. And we are going to be reading Exodus 12. Now, I know there are plenty of scriptures all throughout this book that pertains to the Passover, but I want to read Exodus 12 in its entirety. Why? Because in my opinion, it is one of the most definitive stories in the Bible about the Passover. It covers a lot. All right. And so that's why I want to take it from verse 1 all the way down to verse 51 so that, and of course, as you know, this is going to be one of those lessons where I'll be reading and stopping and breaking things down. All right. So I want you to get your pens and paper and pads or whatever it is that you do and take notes. OK, so the next thing, the Passover this year is going to be March 23rd through March 29th. For those of you that don't know, that is the time that we are to observe and celebrate the Passover, March 23rd through March 29th. And I'm sorry I blanked out there, but I had to think of the date for when it starts. So I wanted y'all to know that, all right? Being that we're going to be discussing the Passover, you probably should know when it is. And also, you can probably tell that I sound really nasally, and I do apologize. All right, but today I'm going to be drinking a lot of water. I'm going to try my best not to, but I'm going to be drinking a lot of water because I'm still suffering from this nonsense. But nothing is going to stop this word, and especially not today, because we getting down on the Passover today. So now, let's go ahead. Let's open this up to the 1611 King James Version Bible with the Apocrypha. And now I just want to go ahead and jump into it now. All right, here it is. Exodus chapter 12, verse 1. And the Lord spake unto Moses and Aaron in the land of Egypt, saying, let me stop real quick. So now, the Most High is speaking to Moses and Aaron, two Israelites. And right now, we are in the land of Egypt. So the Israelites, at this moment, we are in captivity in Egypt. We're in slavery. And the Most High is reaching out to Aaron and Moses because there's some things that's about to go down. All right. So let's go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and start over. And the Lord spake unto Moses and Aaron in the land of Egypt, saying, this month shall be unto you the beginning of months. It shall be the first month of the year to you. Let's go ahead and stop. So now, a lot of y'all probably caught on to that. The Passover is the beginning of the year for the Israelites, not January 1st. That is pagan. All right, that is during the pagan winter solstice. The Most High said this here, the month of Abib, is the month of this is the very first of the year for us, for Israel. That is what we are to celebrate. All right. This is during the springtime, the time of new life, the time of new beginnings, blossoming flowers. All right. Green grass. All right, the butterflies are coming out and all that good stuff. Okay, the insects and everything are coming back out into the world. This is our time. This is our new year. All right, let's go ahead and continue. Verse 3. Speak ye unto all the congregation of Israel. Let me stop. All the congregation of Israel. So here the Most High is giving you the audience. All the congregation of Israel, not the whole world. Saying, in the 10th day of this month, they shall take to them every man a lamb, according to the house of their fathers, a lamb for an house. So let's go ahead and break this down here for a second. So now the Most High is telling Moses and Aaron to tell the children of Israel that they are to get a lamb. We're all familiar with that animal. And every household is to bring a lamb into the house according to the house of their fathers, meaning the 12 tribes. And again, the Most High is making this very distinct that this is only for Israel, the house of their fathers, the fathers carrying the seed, the sperm, the semen. Okay, this is a thing of lineage. This is a celebration and an observance within our lineage. All right, and I want y'all to see how hard the Most High is stressing that. All right, verse 4. And if the household be too little for the lamb, let him and his neighbor next unto his house take it according to the number of souls. Every man according to his eating shall make count for the lamb. So let's break that down there for a second. So now the Most High is saying every household, every household has to have a lamb. So if there's too much lamb, in other words, if there are leftovers, if there's any of this lamb left, you are to take that lamb to your neighbors and have them eat it as well. In other words, he's saying there's absolutely no one that is to go without. So take it out of your house and take it to your neighbors. Now, we're going to talk about neighbors here for a second. Who is the audience here? The congregation of Israel, right? Who are your neighbors? Now, this is not just for this particular book and chapter. This is for all throughout the Bible. Our neighbors are other Israelites, not the whole world. That there is the definition, and it tells you who your neighbors are. The congregation of Israel. Okay. Verse 5. Your lamb shall be without blemish. Now that right there should go ahead and answer everything as far as to who this lamb is talking about. Let's go ahead and just pull the cat out of the bag right now. This is the precursor to Christ, without blemish, meaning that there cannot be anything wrong with this lamb. No broken legs or anything, no matty or just disgusting fur or anything like that. Nothing wrong with this lamb at all. This lamb has to be perfect. Perfect. Just like Christ was. All right. A male of the first year, ye shall take it out from the sheep or from the goat. So listen to this here carefully. A male of the first year, meaning the firstborn. So the firstborn, as we know, of God's children is Christ. Not only that, but he's also the firstborn of Joseph and Mary. So this is talking about Christ. And I want y'all to pay attention. I want y'all to see this here, how they prophesied about Christ all the way back in the book of Exodus. Christ, like I always mention to y'all, he's all throughout this Bible. Okay, verse 6. And ye shall keep it up until the 4th day of the same month, and the whole assembly of the congregation of Israel shall kill it in the evening. So they're saying that this is something that needs to be done at sundown during the evening. Now, pay attention here. Now it's going to start to get really good. And they shall take of the blood and strike it on the two side posts and on the upper doorpost of the houses wherein they shall eat it. So let's go ahead and stop. So now the instructions are to go ahead and sacrifice this lamb. And you are to take the blood of the lamb and put it on the two doorposts and above the post of your door. So now today, that's what you will call the columns of your house. So the instructions were to the Israelites to drain that blood out of the lamb and take the blood and wipe it over the two doorposts and above the door. And you're going to find out why they did that. Okay, and let's go now to verse 8. And they shall eat the flesh in that night. Now I want to go ahead and stop. Now remember how earlier here in the chapter it said that there pretty much should not be any to go to waste, right? So now this is giving you the instruction here that you are to eat this lamb up that night. There are no leftovers at all. And we'll get deeper into that here in a second. Roast with fire and unleavened bread, and with bitter herbs they shall eat. Okay, so now it's giving you the instructions on what you need to do and how you are to prepare this. You are to roast this lamb with fire. Roast it with fire. No water, no baking. This is to be roasted over an open fire with unleavened bread. Let's break this down here when it comes to unleavened bread. Unleavened bread means this is a bread that does not have any leaven in it. Leaven, which means it is a fermenting agent. All right, what it does what can be leaven is yeast or baking powder or baking soda or anything that causes that dough to ferment and expand and cause it to have gas and makes the bread big. So the Most High is telling them that you cannot have any leavening agents in your bread whatsoever. None. And you have to eat this with bitter herbs. So bitter herbs being like lentils and potatoes and things, pretty much things of the ground that you're supposed to eat this with. So you got to prepare this meal and have it this way. Next, let's go to verse 9. Eat not of it raw, nor sodden at all with water. So now it's telling you, do not eat this lamb raw. Fully cook it. Nor sodden, meaning do not soak it. Sodden means to soak. Do not soak this animal at all with water, but roast with fire his head with his legs and with the pertinence thereof. So it's telling you to take this whole lamb, leave the head on, leave all the legs on, and the pertinence means its innards, like the internal organs. Don't take any of it out. Roast this thing whole. Verse 10. And ye shall let nothing of it remain until the morning. So again, he's telling you, eat this whole thing up. And that which remaineth of it until the morning, ye shall burn it with fire. So if there was just so much of this lamb, even after giving it to the neighbors and everything, if there's this much abundance, you are not to eat it. You have to take what was left over and burn it. You cannot eat this here any further. All right, verse 11. And thus shall ye eat it with your loins girded. Let me stop real quick. I want to make sure I stop. Okay. This is about to pick up. And this is where it's going to start to get real funny. And I'm telling you, this is a great story. But I want you guys to pay attention to what the Most High is saying here. Okay. Now he's talking directly to the men. Here we go. And thus shall ye eat it, speaking of that lamb, with your loins girded, your shoes on your feet, and your staff in your hand, and ye shall eat it in haste. It is the Lord's Passover. All right, so now let's go ahead and jump into this here with verse 11. And thus shall ye eat it, so you got to eat this lamb, with your loins girded. So now the Most High is giving us here instructions. Now to gird your loins, today's vernacular would mean, all right, fellas, it's time to put your balls on right now. Put your balls on. Get ready. Get hype. Get in your defense mode, is what it's saying. Your shoes on your feet. So in other words, do not be comfortable during this time right now, because there's something that's about to go down and the Most High wants you ready. So now you already know, like I said, now this is with everybody, you know what I'm saying? So, you getting ready to throw down, getting ready to box or whatever. What do you do? I'm saying, you put your shoes on. So why? So you can stay planted, be planted, and your staff in your hand. This is a weapon, your staff. Now, back in the day or whatever, back during that time, they used to carry around staffs, all right? They didn't have guns and things like that. They had staffs. Now, usually the staff would be very, very sharp and pointed at the end, or some of them got real fancy to where they can go ahead and pull it apart and have a blade on it. So here's what the Most High is saying. The Most High is saying, all right, put your balls on and, get your feet planted and grab your weapons. Now, today, if it was today, in today's standards, the Most High is saying, listen, y'all get together, be ready and have your gun loaded. See, now, people don't talk about this, but the Most High has always been about that business. He's telling you, be ready. Be ready. And if y'all gotta handle something, y'all handle it. Get your weapons ready. You see, people don't realize how hardcore the Most High is and how he always told us to be hardcore, be ready. They don't teach that in the Christian church, nor will they. And ye shall eat it in haste. So he's saying, hurry up and eat this. There's no time for playing around. This is not a time for comfort. Get that in your belly and be ready. Full meal. Why? Because y'all are probably going to have to go throw down and you're going to need the energy. It is the Lord's Passover. All right. Verse 12. This is now, he's going to talk about what the Passover is and why it's called the Passover. Here it is. Verse 12. For I will pass through the land of Egypt this night. Let me stop. During this time right now, the Israelites are in captivity. We are serving our 430 years in captivity in Egypt. All right. So right now, the Most High is telling them all of this while they are in their captivity in the land of Egypt. So right now, all the Israelites are slaves. I'm going to start back at verse 12. For I will pass through the land of Egypt this night and will smite all of the firstborn in the land of Egypt, both man and beast. And against all the gods of Egypt, I will execute judgment. I am the Lord. Israel, do you see that? Do you see what the Most High is getting ready to do? I'm going to read this again. Sorry, but I got to make sure that y'all get this. For I will pass through the land of Egypt this night. So the Most High is saying, I'm about to run up in Egypt and will smite all the firstborn in the land of Egypt. So the Most High is saying, I'm about to run up in Egypt and I'm going to kill all of the firstborn. That's what smite is. Smite means to kill. I'm going to kill all the firstborn. We'll get into that. Both man and beast. I'm not only killing the people, I'm killing the animals. And against all the gods of Egypt, I will execute judgment. So all of those pagan gods in Egypt, the half man, half bird, and all that, the sun god Ra, which the Christians celebrate every Sunday. And the Most High said, I'm going to kill them all. I am going to I'm going to execute all the gods of Egypt, because back then, during that time, they used to say that their gods were the greatest and that the God of Israel couldn't deal with them. And the Most High said, oh yeah, nigga, watch this. And he said, execute judgment. I am the Lord. So now the Most High is getting ready to do something. He said, yo, I'm about to show all of these Egyptians that I am the only one, the only God, and can't nobody touch me. And guess what I'm about to do for my kids? Let's go ahead and continue. I don't want to jump ahead of myself. Verse 13. And the blood shall be to you for a token upon the houses where ye are. And when I see the blood, I will pass over you, and the plague shall not be upon you to destroy you when I smite the land of Egypt. So the Most High is telling the children of Israel through Moses and Aaron, put this blood over the post of your doors or whatever, so that when I run up through here, when this plague runs through, which is more than likely carried out by the angels, which is going to happen in the last days here, I am going to pass over your crib. I'm passing over your crib. I'm going to make sure that y'all are not touched. For every last one of you that follow my commandment and put this over your door. If you do this, if you follow my instructions, if you follow my commandment, I will make sure you are not harmed. What does that sound like today, Israel? The Most High giving us commandments and saying, if you keep them, you live. This is all the precursor. This is the trailer. For those of you who are movie fans like me, this is the trailer for what's coming in the last days. Verse 14. And this day shall be unto you for a memorial. I'm going to read that again because I love it so much. And this day shall be unto you, Israel, for a memorial. This is our holiday, a memorial. Our Memorial Day for us. And ye shall keep it a feast to the Lord throughout your generations. You shall keep it a feast by an ordinance forever. Forever, Israel, forever. Forever means we are going to be celebrating the Passover in the kingdom. In the kingdom, forever. And this is a law. He said this is an ordinance. And you will keep this feast throughout your generations, which means that we are to be doing this today. Verse 15. 7 days shall ye eat unleavened bread. So let's go ahead and stop. So from the 23rd through the 29th, we are to be eating unleavened bread, which means very simple. Any bread that has any leavening agents in it, you cannot eat, Israel. You cannot eat that during this time. Even the first day ye shall put away leaven out of your houses. Let me stop. All leavening agents is to be put out of your house. So let's go ahead and break this down. That means all of your bread. That's your Wonder Bread, your sliced bread, anything that where the bread has risen. All right, your French rolls, all of that has to go. It has to be put out of your house. Throw it away. That's what it means. So now it is not just the bread. It's also like if you have cereal in your cabinets or cupboards, whatever you want to call it. If you have cereal or anything that has a leavening agent. So now this is something where you have to do your diligent work and go look at the ingredients of the things in your house and see what has baking soda, baking powder, or yeast or anything like that. And you have to get rid of it out of your house. Bottom line. Not only that, but also this. Toothpaste. If you have toothpaste with baking soda in it, it has to go. Bottom line, it has to go. And not all toothpaste actually has baking soda, whatever in it. But if it does, it has to go. Has to go. All right. Now let's go to verse 15. And we're going to continue reading. 7 days shall ye eat unleavened bread. Even the first day ye shall put away leaven out of your houses. For, listen, for whosoever eateth leavened bread from the first day until the seventh day, that soul shall be cut off from Israel. Now, I'm going to make this very clear. You just came into this truth. So now that you know this, if you decide that that's something that you want to go ahead and do, you're done. I'm telling you, there it is. Because now you cannot play ignorance. And you are learning this in way enough time. We have to keep these laws, Israel. We must keep these laws. All right? And let's go now to verse 16. And in the first day there shall be an holy convocation. What does that mean? On the first day, March 23rd, is to be treated as a Sabbath day. And in the seventh day, there shall be an holy convocation to you. So the first day, which is the 23rd, and March 29th, these are Sabbath days. You have to observe the Sabbath on these days. No manner of work shall be done in them. No manner. So if you can get those days off, get them days off. Save that which every man must eat, that only may be done of you. So it's telling you right here, you cannot cook. So those nights before, you have to go ahead and prepare just like you do every Sabbath. Verse 17. And ye shall observe the feast of unleavened bread. That's what the Passover means, the feast of unleavened bread. For in this selfsame day have I brought your armies out of the land of Egypt. Therefore shall ye observe this day in your generations by an ordinance forever. So what is the Most High saying here? The Most High is saying we are to celebrate when he rescued us out of the land of Egypt. This is an ordinance. This is a law. This is a commandment. We must obey and observe this time. It's a law. We have to do it. And why are we observing it? Because the Most High loved Israel so much that he said, I'm going to go get my kids. I'm going to whoop these Egyptians' asses. I'm going to beat the dog crap out of all of them. I'm going to kill their firstborns. I want y'all to think about that. And I don't want to jump ahead of myself. He said, I'm going to kill their firstborns. I'm going to kill them just to show my kids how much I love them. And this shall be a memorial to you. He said, this is a memorial to you, Israel. This is how much I love you. And I want you to celebrate this day throughout your generations. Verse 18. In the first month, on the 14th day of the month at evening, meaning at night, in the evening, ye shall eat unleavened bread until the 21st day of the month at evening. 7 days shall there be no leaven found in your houses. He's repeating himself. Even that soul shall be cut off from the congregation of Israel. He's telling you again, I'm cutting y'all off if you do it, from the congregation of Israel, not the whole world. Whether he be a stranger, understand that. I want you to remember that there. This stranger, I'm not going to get into it yet, but remember I'm saying it. Or born in the land, because this is going to define this here later. Ye shall eat nothing leavened. He's saying it over and over. Don't eat anything leavened. In all your habitations shall ye eat unleavened bread. All of your habitations. That means if you have rental property, you can't go there. If you have timeshare, you can't eat it there. You can't eat it at work. You can't eat it anywhere. No unleavened bread. You have to eat unleavened bread in all of your habitations. You have to eat unleavened bread. Then Moses called for all the elders of Israel and said unto them, draw out and take you a lamb according to your families and kill the Passover. So now that was the Most High telling Aaron and Moses this. So now Moses and Aaron are now beginning to tell the children of Israel. And ye shall take a bunch of hyssop herbs and dip it in the blood that is in the basin. So this is what I was talking about earlier when he went ahead and cut the throat of the lamb and it went ahead and dripped down. So now it's telling them to take a hyssop and dip it in, pretty much serving as a paintbrush. Dip it in the blood in that basin and strike the lintel and the two side posts with the blood that is in the basin, and none of you shall go out at the door of his house until the morning. So he's telling them, yo, dip this in there, hit the two posts and over your door, and stay in your house. Why? Because of the promise that the Most High made that he is about to come and whoop up on Egypt. Verse 23. For the Lord will pass through to smite the Egyptians. And when he seeth the blood upon the lintel and on the two side posts, the Lord will pass over the door and will not suffer the destroyer to come in unto your houses to smite you. I want to make sure you understood that. The destroyer. The destroyer. So the Most High is sending them angels. What is that parallel to, Israel? The last days. The chariots. Now, at this time, remember, Christ is not born. But the representation of Christ is there by what? The Lamb. So again, this is the precursor of what's coming in the last days. Christ is involved, and so are the angels. And the Most High called them the destroyer. I love it. Love every minute of it. Verse 24, and ye shall observe this thing for an ordinance to thee and to thy sons forever. And he's telling you again, this is an ordinance. As a matter of fact, let's go ahead and get the definition of ordinance. For those of you who are not familiar with that term, let's go ahead and get it. Ordinance, definition. A piece of legislation enacted by a municipal authority. So that's saying right there, a commandment given by the Most High God. Point blank and simple. Verse 25. And it shall come to pass, when ye be come to the land which the Lord will give you, according as he hath promised, the promised land, that ye shall keep this service. So he's saying all the way until we get into the land, we are to keep this. And it shall come to pass, verse 26, and it shall come to pass when your children shall say unto you, what mean ye by this service? So in other words, our kids are going to be like, what is the Passover? What's the Passover? Your children, those generations further down, talking about us in these last days. What's the Passover? What is that? I have no idea what this is. Why would they be questioning that? Because the Most High knew that we were going to be taken away from our heritage. And we'll get into that. Remember, we lost our heritage because we have no idea what any of this stuff is. So that's why our children are going to be talking about, what the hell is the Passover? What are you talking about? They're going to be asking us questions about it. Verse 27, that ye shall say, it is the sacrifice of the Lord's Passover, who passed over the houses of the children of Israel in Egypt, when he smote the Egyptians and delivered our houses. And the people bowed the head and worship. And we gave praise to the Most High for doing it. Verse 28. And the children of Israel went away and did as the Lord had commanded Moses and Aaron, so did they. So the Israelites, they were like, oh, word, this is going to happen? All right, let's do it. It's done. It's done. So the Most High is coming through to get us up out of here, out of our slavery. Oh, hell yeah, let's do it. Let's make sure we do it. So what's happening now, Israel, today, with every last one of you watching? What we got to do? We got to keep these commandments. Okay, we got to do what he said. We are going to do what he says, because we know per prophecy that Christ and the angels will be coming. What's going to keep us in protection? The blood of the Lamb. The Christ became the ultimate sacrifice. By us keeping these commandments, we are following him. We are covered in the blood. Verse 29. And it came to pass that at midnight the Lord smote all the firstborn in the land of Egypt, from the firstborn of Pharaoh that sat on his throne unto the firstborn of the captive that was in the dungeon, and all the firstborn of cattle, the Most High tore them to pieces. Killed them all. Sent that plague through and killed them all. Verse 30, I mean, even the animals. The Most High said, I ain't playing with nothing. I'm killing everything. I'm going to make an example out of these damn Egyptians for what they've done to my kids. Verse 30, and Pharaoh, here it is, and Pharaoh rose up in the night, he and all his servants and all the Egyptians, and there was a great cry in Egypt. Let me stop for a second. So, making this here parallel to the last day coming, the weeping and gnashing of teeth. For there was not a house where there was not one dead. Let's stop for a second. Israel, I really want y'all to think about this. Imagine this. Now, this is more for those of you that live in bigger communities. You know what I'm saying? Like for those that live in an apartment complex. I just want you to get this visual in your mind here. Imagine on your block, in your community, or wherever it may be, right? Where in every household, one person died. Think about that chaos. Not only that, but also the animals. All these dead people all throughout these communities. Think about that. In every household, one person is dead. Whoo, that's crazy. All right, verse 31. And he called for Moses and Aaron by night and said, rise up among my people, both ye and the children of Israel, and go serve the Lord as ye have said. So now the Most High is telling them, Moses, Aaron, go get your brothers and sisters and get them out of Egypt. Get them out. Y'all are gone. No more slavery. No more captivity. I'm about to put y'all back in power. Verse 32. Also, take your flocks and your herds. So they're telling you, take your animals, as ye have said, and be gone, and bless me also. So the Most High is saying, yo, pick up your things, get your animals, and bless me. Y'all better bless me. Y'all better bless me. Y'all better give me my respect and reverence. Do you see what I just did for y'all? You better praise me. And that's what the Most High is all about. Saying, yo, listen, y'all better recognize what I do for you. And this is why I'm telling y'all, like I said last week or whatever, before your feet touch the floor, y'all better be giving the Most High his respect, reverence, and praise. When you wake up in the morning, it's the first thing you do. First thing, let him know that he is the one that made it possible. Thank him for waking you up, because you did not have to wake up. Many didn't. All right, now, verse 33. And the Egyptians were urgent upon the people that they might send them out in the land in haste, for they said, we be all dead men. So what's happening right now? So now the Egyptians are like, yo, listen, get these niggas out of here. They said they made haste. They were like, yo, get up, get out. If we keep them here, we all gonna be dead. Get these niggas out of here now. So you can understand the commotion, the chaos and turmoil that's going on in Egypt right now. So think about the whole scenario. All of the firstborns are dropping dead along with the animals as well. Now y'all gotta remember that they had these flocks, these big flocks, right? And everything just dropping dead around them. Everybody come out the house. Paul is dead. So is Roman. Oh my God, everybody's all dead. See, I'm too hyped. You see that? I'm hyped. When I sit and think about this in my mind, I'm like, yo, this is the best thing ever. Verse 34, and the people took their dough before it was leavened, their kneading troughs being bound up in their clothes upon their shoulders. So now the Most High told them, yo, get all your dough, get everything. But guess what? It is still, now at this point, it's telling them to grab all of your things, your cooking utensils and everything, gird it up in your clothes and take it with you. Now, this is the funny part. This verse right here is the funniest of them all. all of this here. Listen to this. This is how you know this is us, Israel. Watch. And the children of Israel did according to the word of Moses, and they borrowed of the Egyptians jewels of silver and jewels of gold and raiment. So what happened? Here? So now the children of Israel, so now they're gathering up all this stuff. They're taking all their things, they're putting everything on, right? And so they're like, hold on, yo, before we bounce, go grab that jewelry. Go get all that gold and all that silver. And raiment means clothes. And yo, go get them clothes. Go get all they stuff. Yo, go get all they shit. We taking it all. We getting it all. Took them. Cleaned them out dry. That's how you know that's us. Y'all already know from all our stuff. Yo, our silver, our chains and everything. Like, yo, we ain't leaving without that. Get it. Oh, man, I love my people. I love my people. And the Lord gave the people favor in the sight of the Egyptians. And so many people read, they go right past that. I want y'all to pick up on this here. And the Lord gave the people favor in the sight of the Egyptians. So the Most High watching them do this. The Most High, yo, get it all. Get it all. So what the Most High is doing now, he is allowing all the children of Israel to be flossing. Flossing, taking all their stuff, and he's making an example out of the children of Israel and being like, guess what? They got all your stuff now. Do you see that I am the only God? I just beat y'all ass, and now my kids are taking everything up out of here. That's how I roll. That's how I roll. That is the God that we serve, Israel. Oh my man. So that they lent unto them such things as they required, and they spoiled the Egyptians. Spoiled. Made them rotten. Took it all. Left nothing behind. Verse 37. And the children of Israel journeyed from Ramses to Succoth, about 600,000 on foot that were men beside children. And a mixed multitude went up also with them, and flocks and herds, even very much cattle. And they baked unleavened cakes of the dough which they brought forth out of Egypt. So they gathered all their stuff or whatever, and they were still making unleavened bread. For it was not leavened, because they were thrust out of Egypt, and could not tarry, neither had they prepared for themselves any victual. Victual means food. So they weren't able to prepare any food because they got up out of there. Now remember, the Most High was like, yo, listen, y'all get up, gird up your loins, keep your feet planted or whatever, and y'all about to get up out of here. So now they're sojourning. So they're traveling, and now they got all this unleavened bread, and they got this food. And they're going back to the place as to where they belong. Stop for a second. Can y'all imagine that? I really want y'all to take this under consideration and let your imagination work here for a second. Here you are in slavery. Think about our conditions right now, all right, to where we can't get good jobs. All of our people or whatnot living in the projects and living in reservations and living in the barrios and all that. We live in the scum of the earth, to where we are going to go into the rich neighborhoods and all that and take all their stuff, all their riches, all their values, all their things. Put it on, rock it in front of them, and go back. Straight Debo everything. Telling y'all, man. All right, here it is. So, verse 40. Now the sojourning of the children of Israel who dwelt in Egypt was 430 years. Let me stop for a second. 430 years. Sounds familiar, doesn't it? Yeah, that slavery time, there's something about that 400 years, right? So, 430 years in slavery and captivity in Egypt. So now, let's go ahead and fast forward this here to the prophecies down the line. Let's start at, now first of all, let me make this very clear that slavery did not begin with Judah, all right? But we're going to calculate this here with Judah. 1619, James Yorktown, Virginia. 1619, 1719, 1819, 1919, 2019. 400 years, still in slavery. That's what I'm saying. These last days are upon us, Israel. Verse 41, and it came to pass at the end of the 430 years, even the selfsame day it came to pass, that all the host of the Lord went out from the land of Egypt. It is a night to be much observed unto the Lord for bringing them out from the land of Egypt. So again, he's still saying, you need to observe this day. Our people, Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, need to observe this day and remember what the Most High did for us. And here it is. This is that night of the Lord to be observed of all the children of Israel in their generations. I can't say it anymore. The Bible cannot say it anymore. We are supposed to be celebrating this here today. Verse 43, and the Lord said unto Moses and Aaron, this is the ordinance of the Passover. There shall no stranger eat thereof. Now, remember when we talked about the stranger earlier in the chapter, right? So I wanted to go ahead and leave it here. That stranger is not talking about the other nations. It's not talking about it at all. It defines the stranger here. I'm going to go ahead and read this again. And the Lord said unto Moses and Aaron, who is the Most High talking about? He's talking to Moses and Aaron, to Israelites. This is the ordinance of the Passover. Who did the Most High just rescue? He rescued the children of Israel. There shall no stranger eat thereof. Let's go ahead and break that down. Now, remember, we just came out of slavery. Now, during that time, during that slavery, we had plenty of Israelites that converted over to Egyptian customs. Back then, they would have been called Gentiles. But they were called slaves. And from that slavery, guess what they were doing? They were following Egyptian customs. And even after being removed from slavery, they were still trying to live in Egypt. And this is why the Most High called them strangers, just like we learned before with Gentiles. Same thing. So now, let's see what it says here, because they were not able to eat of it. Right here. And the Lord said unto Moses and Aaron, this is the ordinance of the Passover. There shall no stranger eat thereof. So if these individuals, these Israelites who were still practicing Egyptian customs, they were not able to eat of the Passover. They were rejected. They could not eat the children's blessings. Just like in them last days, if they do not keep the commandments, this is the 2/3. They're being put to death. Can't do it. I told y'all, the precursor. Now, I want you to pay very close attention, as right here in verse 43, it talks about the stranger, and it shows you who this stranger is. It's of Israel, because only the children of Israel were able to eat of this. Now, verse 44, but every man's servant that is bought for money, when thou hast circumcised him, then shall he eat thereof. So it's saying that this servant, because remember now, servant in this case here is talking about the people who used to work for other Israelites. These are called employees today. Other Israelites. Now it's saying when they are circumcised, who are the only people that can be circumcised, Israel? Us, the Jews. So that further goes to explain the stranger. This is talking about other Israelites. Now it said, when they keep the customs of Israel, when they convert back over to what they naturally are, then they can eat. Just like if we was to compare that to today, If you keep the commandments today, Israel, then you shall have salvation. All right, drink break real quick. Then you shall have salvation. If not, you're going to die if you don't keep the commandments. So now, verse 45, I want you to pay attention to. Listen very closely. A foreigner and an hired servant shall not eat thereof. Point blank. A foreigner and a hired servant. This is talking about now the other nations. Because remember, Israel now is back in power. So the foreigner and the other servants, they cannot eat. They cannot partake in the Passover. It belongs to us. Now, current day, what does that mean? They will not be obtaining salvation. I'm telling y'all, all throughout this book, it tells us these other nations do not get salvation. Verse 46, in one house shall it be eaten. Thou shalt not carry forth out of the flesh abroad out of the house, neither shall ye break a bone thereof. All the congregation of Israel shall keep it. And it tells you right there, it just summed it up. All the congregation of Israel shall eat it. Not the other nations. We're the only ones that can do this. We are the only ones that can keep it. And when a stranger shall sojourn with thee, and will keep the Passover to the Lord, let all his males be circumcised, and then let him come near and keep it. And he shall be as one that is born in the land, for no uncircumcised person shall eat thereof. It just wrapped it up and said it again. That only the Israelites, those who can be circumcised, are the only ones that can partake in this Passover. The only ones that can eat this lamb. No one else can eat this lamb. No one else can eat of Christ. No one. No one. No one except the Israelites. That is it. That is point blank, bottom line, Israel. And y'all gotta understand that. Nobody else can partake. How many times did the Most High say this over and over and over just in this story itself? This is why I love reading Exodus 12 when it discusses the Passover. Verse 49. One law shall be to him that is homeborn, meaning of Israel, and unto the stranger that sojourneth among you, those coming back into Israel that were following pagan customs. Verse 50. Thus did all the children of Israel, and there it is again explaining it, as the Lord commanded Moses and Aaron, so did they. And it came to pass the selfsame day that the Lord did bring the children of Israel out of the land of Egypt by their armies. So, was that really that difficult, Israel? Excuse me for a second. Was that really that difficult to understand this? Now that you guys have been studying with me for quite some time, and as you can see, nothing changes. It all remains the same. Why? Because the Bible talks about us only and specifically. That's it. That's the Passover. So now, but we're not done there. Now, I want to go to Jeremiah 16. I want to go to Jeremiah 16, and I want to start at verse 14. Jeremiah 16 and verse 14. And I'm going to read down to 21, and you're going to see why I did this. All right, verse 14. Therefore, behold, the days come, saith the Lord, that it shall no more be said, the Lord liveth, that brought up the children of Israel out of the land of Egypt. So, as you see where this is going, this is another prophet. This is the prophet further down the line. This is Jeremiah, still our ancestor. But the Lord liveth, that brought up the children of Israel from the land of the north. Stop. So now, this is not talking about the landmass of Egypt. Now we're talking about the land of the north. What is that, Israel? North America. Now this is shifting from history to prophecy. And from all the lands whither he had driven them, I will bring them again into their land that I gave unto their fathers. I want to make sure this is broken down correctly to where you understand it. Now, Jeremiah is talking prophecy. The land of the north, North America. During the time of slavery in Egypt, they were not scattered. They were not scattered all over the place. They were in Egypt. 1619, Jamestown, Virginia, and during that time there were when we were all dispersed. This is talking about modern day slavery, which is today. And it verifies that with the scattering. And the Most High promised. What did he promise? He promised that he was going to put us back in our original land, which is over in Jerusalem. And when is that going to happen? During the last days, when Christ and the angels come in the chariots to do the very same thing that they did in Egypt. That was the trailer. Now here is the actual blockbuster. Verse 16. And oh my gosh, I love this so much. Behold, I will send for many fishers, saith the Lord, and they shall fish them. And after will I send for many hunters, and they shall hunt them from every mountain, from every hill, and out of the holes of the rocks. Now, Israel, I want you to pay attention. Now you have to jog your memory because we went over this here with Leviathan and the cockatrice. These creatures, I'm going to read this again. Now, let your brain go back to what we talked about. Behold, I will send for many fishers. Where's Leviathan? See, I'm getting so over myself because I love this. Where's Leviathan? Where does he come from? He comes from the sea. I'm going to read this again. Behold, I will send for many fishers. So that means there's more than one of those damn things down there. I'm going to send for fishers, saith the Lord, and they shall fish them. What is this talking about? This is talking about when the elite, for those of you who are not familiar with this, they have undersea bunkers. They actually have undersea communities that the elite thinks that they are going to escape when this time comes. I want you to look. I want you to look this stuff up. I want you to look it up. Look up the underground bunkers under the sea. Not only that, but they also have shows about this. And the Most High said, I am going to take them sea creatures, Leviathan, and everything else that he has down there, and he's sending them to go get them. They will not escape, Israel. They will not escape. And after will I send for many hunters, and they shall hunt them from every mountain and from every hill and out of the holes of the rocks. So in order to get up in those mountains, Israel, and be able to go ahead and get in between the rocks and stuff like that, that is the cockatrice. Those are those dragons that we learned about before. And what are they both going to be bringing? Leviathan and the cockatrice. They spit fire. All praises to the Most High God, Israel. All praises to the Most High for what's coming. Because remember, these are the people of the mountains, the Caucasus Mountains, the Caucasians. Edom. And they're going to try to go into their dwellings all in the mountains, like Mount Rushmore and all that, where they build inside of these mountains. And the thing about that, they put this all over like the History Channel and the Discovery Channel and all those things. They put it all over. All over. They tell you about this on their media. And all the elite think that they're going to be able to go into these dwelling places, whatever, and they're going to be able to escape this ass whooping. Nope. Not only are the children of Israel going to be wreaking havoc, but those creatures, the pets of the Most High, is going to be going to get them. Verse 17, for mine eyes are upon all their ways. God says, I see everything that they've done. I've seen every last thing that your enemies have done to you, Israel. They are not hid from my face. I see it all. Neither is their iniquity hid from my eyes. So the Most High said, I know everything that they've done to you. I remember them feeding you to alligators. I remember the rape. I know when they would not give you jobs. I know when they put you into these lower income places, whatever, and purposely passed over you at your jobs, knowing that you were the real deal, that you had the talent and you deserved the promotions. And just because of who you are, they did not give it to you because they wanted to give it to their own people, knowing that you had the talent, knowing that you were deserving of it, but they just didn't give it to you. That's an iniquity. Verse 18, and first I will recompense their iniquity and their sin double. Israel, do you understand that? The Most High said not only is he going to pay them back, but he's going to pay them back double. Because they have defiled my land. That's talking about the Jews over there claiming to be Israel. He said they defiled my land. Defiled it. Because they have defiled my land, they have filled mine inheritance with the carcasses of their detestable and abominable things. He's saying they're disgusting, they're gross. Do you hear what the Most High is saying? He said these people are disgusting and nasty and gross, and they are detestable and abominable. Now, you know what abominable means. It means that he hates them. And he hates everything that they do. And so many of them think that they're going to get into this kingdom. O Lord, my strength and my fortress and my refuge in the day of affliction, that last day when the Most High is sending Christ and the angels. The last day, the day of affliction. Now, the Gentiles, this means them, the actual Gentiles. The Gentiles shall come unto thee from the ends of the earth. Let me stop. Now, remember last week when we talked about the chasing of the roe, when they were going to be scattering all over the place, right? And they're all going back to their own places. Now they're going to have to come out of their hiding spots. They're going to have to come out. And the Most High said that they are going to have to face him. Every knee shall bow. I'm going to read this again. Verse 19. O Lord, my strength and my fortress and my refuge in the day of affliction, the Gentiles shall come unto thee from the ends of the earth and shall say, surely our fathers have inherited lies, vanity, and things wherein there is no profit. Do you understand what that means? That their ancestors in these last days going to be, listen, God, listen, our fathers lied to us. We did not know these things. We did not mean to do this to your kids. Bullshit. Bullshit. And the Most High said, I'm killing you all. Every last one. I'm going to read that again. I'm going to read it again. O Lord, my strength and my fortress and my refuge in the day of affliction, the Gentiles shall come unto thee from the ends of the earth and shall surely say, surely our fathers have inherited lies, vanity, and things wherein there is no profit. All the things that they've done have absolutely no profit. They have no benefit to them at all. It is all vain. That's what they're talking about, vanity. Vanity, the vain part means absolutely pointless. Everything that they've done, everything that their culture has done, everything that their lineage has done has been absolutely pointless. And they're saying it right here. Shall a man make gods unto himself, and they are no gods? This is going back to Egypt. Let me tell you something right now. Edom has always idolized Egypt. Always. Still, even to this day. To this day, there is an obelisk in Washington. And the town that I live in, there's an obelisk. Pyramids on the money, on the currency, all over. They worship the sun god Ra every Sunday. This is why the Most High said this is the land of America, Babylon. This is spiritual Egypt. Why? Because Edom idolizes everything that Egypt has done. All the way to the eagle or phoenix, whatever you want to call it, on their currency. Always. Therefore, behold, I will this once cause them to know. I will cause them to know mine hand and my might, and they shall know that my name is the Lord. All praises to the Most High God, Israel. This is why we are to celebrate the Passover. This is why. This is why those other nations are so adamant to make sure that your children are decorating Easter eggs and going on Easter egg hunts and talking about damn bunnies and candy. So that this message, the real message, does not go forth about what we are supposed to do, what we are supposed to celebrate. And we are supposed to celebrate the destruction of the other nations to where Israel is back in power. That is the Passover, Israel. That is the Passover. That is what you are to be teaching your children, your nieces, neighbors. This is that good news that is supposed to be spread throughout Israel. This is it. Following these commandments, doing what the Most High told us to do, because he promised for those of us that keep these commandments, Israel, that we will be in the kingdom and we will be in rulership. But as long as we continue to ignore the Most High and not keep his commandments, we are going to remain in these conditions. That's just bottom line. All praises to the Most High God, Israel, for this. All praises to the Most High God. Seriously. And I'm telling y'all, it really doesn't get any better than being able for all of us to congregate on this Sabbath morning and discuss that. And to discuss the future as of what's to come. And to be able to enlighten each other. And to encourage each other for this. Hands down, this is a great life if we just allow it to be. It is. We don't have to deal with the things that they say. We don't have to deal with none of that if we just keep our focus on us. We don't have time to be dealing with the other nations. There's so much work to be done within Israel. And I'm going to ask y'all a question, seriously. How many of you knew about the Passover to this extent? How many of you knew this? This is why every Sabbath, when I tell y'all, it is an absolute pleasure to be able to wake up and serve you guys on this Sabbath and prepare these things and do these things. First of all, it's phenomenal for me. I love it. I love doing this here. But it's even better knowing that I'm doing it for you. And that you're able to learn this so that you can take this very same teaching and spread it to others. So that you can edify yourself, so that you can be teachers as well. Remember, I told you I do this here and I do it this way and break it down so that you are able to teach as well. All right? That's what this is all about, Israel. And damn, I love the Most High, man. I really don't know what to tell you. I really don't. That's why I told y'all this is my favorite story. One of my favorite stories in the Bible. One of the top three. One of the top three. I'm telling y'all, there's work to be done, Israel. There's work to be done. And we got to make sure that we do this work. So, and I want to say this here very clear. For those of you who are just now coming in to this Truth or Whatnot, I know there's a lot of new viewers and stuff like that. You are not to celebrate Easter Sunday. Do not celebrate Easter Sunday. Number one, Christ did not die, okay, I say die. He did not rise on Easter Sunday. Christ died on a Wednesday. And let me go ahead and tell y'all about something here too before I forget. That Ash Wednesday thing, I really hope none of y'all are out there doing that with this Ash Wednesday crap. So for those of you who are not familiar with this, now, you know they go ahead and they put the black cross or whatever on their forehead from ash, right? Let me tell you what that's all about. The black represents the color of the children of Israel. And the cross is, of course, of Christ. This is a mockery to the children of Israel. This is a mockery to Christ. Now, why do they put it on their foreheads? Because remember, who's going to be sealed on their foreheads, Israel, in the last days? Us. And that is the seal, knowing that we are the ones protected and we are the ones that will be taken into salvation. Now, the other nations, they know that they cannot get this. So they make the mockery and they say, okay, well, guess what? The Most High, well, God, he did it to them to where they're going to be sealed in their foreheads. So now we're going to seal our foreheads. And it's a mockery. And so many of our people, I've seen our own people with this on their foreheads, not knowing that this is a mockery to us. Absolutely insane. And stay out of that damn church on Easter Sunday, because they've made... First, let me get back to what I was talking about here. Now, he died on a Wednesday, right? Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Now, it says he rose 3 days later, right? He rose on the Sabbath, not Sunday. So when you go to church on Easter Sunday, you are giving praise and worship to the sun god Ra. Again, Egypt. That's what it is. And it's nothing more than a big damn fashion show. All right? Everybody's stepping out with their new Easter clothes and all that. Like I said, I used to have to go through it too when I was a kid. But guess what? That's not the case now. And back then, I didn't have anyone breaking this down the way that these brothers are all assisting in breaking this word down for us. Serious. There's no excuse anymore, Israel. There's no excuse. All right? So with that being said, Israel, I really, really thank you guys for having this much fun with me today. I don't know if you didn't have any fun, but I know I did. I really, really did. And I have to say, this is probably one of my favorite lessons here that I've done. You know what I'm saying? Besides the anomalies that I love doing or whatever, but this one here, I always love the Passover. This is one of my favorites. And I really thank you guys for hanging out and going over this here with me. And I really hope you were edified. I really do. So if you guys have any questions, you already know, y'all know how to contact me. MikeMalissChannel@gmail.com. And I'm also on Instagram as well under Mike Maliss. And you can send me a direct message or whatever the case may be. And you know I always respond. All right. So with that being said, Israel, I really love you guys. And I really hope that y'all have a great rest of this Sabbath day. And remember, keep the commandments and celebrate the Passover, March 23rd through the 29th. All right. And with that being said, Israel, I love y'all. I'm out.